I get it when you're about to drop a few $100s on a sound system you've only seen in ads, though what if it's not worth it? Question keeps buzzing in the back of your mind. I was in that exact spot last month, trying to convince a friend that his massive 85-inch Neo QLED TV deserved something more than the thin film speakers that came with it. The idea of a compact bar with a separate sub that could actually keep up with the TV's enhanced 4K visuals felt like a gamble. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So, does the Samsung QS700F 3.1.2 channel soundbar really turn a regular movie night into a mini theater? Or is it just another sleek piece that looks good on the wall while the audio stays flat? I spent a couple of weekends setting it up in a 20-foot living room that's a mix of hardwood floors and a glass coffee table, streamed a few new releases, ran the built-in TV calibration, and took notes on how it handled everything from dialogue-heavy dramas to bass-heavy action sequences. Below is what I learned, broken down the way I'd explain it to anyone standing in the aisle trying to decide if this is the right fit. First off, the biggest selling point Samsung touts is the multidimensional sound with up-firing speakers. In plain English, that means the bar tries to bounce sound off the ceiling to create a sense of height, something you normally only get with a full-blown surround setup. When I put on a sci-fi thriller that has a lot of overhead drones, the effect was subtle but noticeable. The drones didn't feel like they were just coming from the front. They seemed to hover above the room, making the scene feel less like a flat screen and more like you were in the cockpit. If you love that sort of immersive feel for movies or games, you'll appreciate this approach. The subwoofer is where the big bass in a small package claim really shows up. It's a wireless unit, so you can hide it under the sofa or place it against a wall without dealing with a messy cable run. During a test with a bass-heavy soundtrack from an action movie, the sub delivered a thump that you could feel in your chest, yet it didn't turn the whole room into a rattling box. That balance is key for shared spaces. The low end is present enough to make explosions exciting, but it doesn't bleed through the walls into the next room like a traditional large sub would. Now, the strengths are clear, but there are practical weaknesses you should weigh. The first one is the size of the bar itself. At 85 inches, the TV dominates the wall, and the 43-inch wide soundbar can feel a bit short in comparison. If you're aiming for a perfectly flush look where the bar spans the entire width of the screen, you'll notice the gap. It's not a functional issue, it still projects sound forward, but aesthetically, it can be a compromise for some. Secondly, the room calibration using the TV mic is a neat feature, but it's only as good as the TV's mic placement and the room's acoustic conditions. In my living room, the calibration helped level out the mids and reduced some echo from the hardwood floor, but it didn't completely iron out the slight boominess you can get when the sub is placed too close to a corner. A quick manual tweak of the sub's volume and the bar's bass level after the automatic calibration gave a cleaner result, so be ready to spend a few minutes fine-tuning if you want the best sound. Another point that matters for everyday use is the remote. Samsung paired the bar with a slim remote that also controls the TV, which is convenient. One click, you're adjusting volume while watching a show. However, the remote's navigation can feel a bit sluggish when you try to jump between sound modes, standard, adaptive, game, etc. It's not a deal breaker, but if you're the kind of person who likes rapid toggles during gaming sessions, you might find yourself reaching for the bar's physical buttons more often. Who should definitely consider the QS700F? First, anyone who already owns a high-end 4K TV and wants a sound upgrade that matches the visual fidelity without installing a full surround system. The up-firing speakers and calibrated sound profile pair nicely with the TV's enhanced picture, delivering a cohesive experience. Families that watch a lot of dialogue-driven content, think sitcoms or news, will notice the clearer speech, especially when you enable the dialogue boost mode. The bar also works well for gamers who need a quick, immersive audio boost without the hassle of placing rear speakers. On the flip side, if you live in a tiny studio apartment where floor-to-ceiling height is under 8 feet, the up-firing effect may not have enough space to create the intended height dimension. In such cramped rooms, the sound can feel a bit boxed, and you might be better off with a traditional 2.1 bar that focuses on forward.